In the Constituent Assembly, when Dr. B.R. Ambedkar tabled the Uniform Civil Code and the bill passed unanimously by all the people. But however, we have few exceptions and few Muslim communities had objected it, and they had suggested that few amendments required to the Uniform Civil Code, and according to them that in India the personal laws, the family laws have a different kind of personal laws, and each religion have their personal laws, so they will be governed according to the personal law. In reply to such things, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar stated that India is a diverse country and we respect all the religions. However, we have uniform courts and uniform law for criminal procedures, for penal code, so it's not much difficult for a country to apply uniform civil code. Hello friends, welcome to the new series of Drishti IAS. My name is Ritu and today's session is about Uttarakhand Uniform Civil Code. So moving towards the points of discussion. First of all, we are going to discuss the news, then we are going to discuss a brief about Uniform Civil Code and hits and misses of Uttarakhand Uniform Civil Code, and also what changes it had acquired for the Muslim community and also for Hindu community, then practice question for prelim. Before that, you have to like, share and subscribe to the Drishti IAS channel. So, moving to the news part. So today what is happening in Uttarakhand State Legislative Assembly, that the bill is being tabled yesterday and right now the discussion and debate is going towards this bill and it is likely to be passed today. So that's why we have taken this news, and it's very important to discuss this news because so many experts are saying that this bill can be a blueprint for the overall Uniform Civil Code and the country can also follow such bill. So that's why this topic is very much important, and there are so much debate and long-standing debate related to Uniform Civil Code, that Uniform Civil Code should brought to the country or not. So maybe by discussing these things, we'll have an answer to such questions. So moving towards the static portion about Uniform Civil Code. So what is Uniform Civil Code? So, as you already know that in Article 44 of the Indian Constitution, there is a mention of Uniform Civil Code and it is a part of directive principle of the state policy. But it is not legally enforceable because they are a part of the policies, and it's maybe mandated to the state that you have to govern into this manner, but it is not legally enforceable because they are part of the DPSP. And each community in our country have a different personal law. Muslim have a different personal laws, Hindus have a personal different laws, Jains have other, Sikhs have other. So whatever the marriage and family laws we have, it is dependent on the different personal laws according to the religion. So this is a brief about the Uniform Civil Code, and the only state in India that has a UCC, which is Goa, and it is liberated in the Portuguese rule by 1961. So this is the Uniform Civil Code and we have a brief about this Uniform Civil Code. And next, Uttarakhand has brought this bill and maybe it will be passed today. So this is a static portion. Moving to the next slide. Next slide is about hits and misses about this Uttarakhand Uniform Civil Code. So the first thing we will discuss about the live-in relationship. So according to Uttarakhand Uniform Civil Code, when you are living in a relationship with a person, with your partner, you have to register your live-in relationship, and with the statement of live-in relationship you have to register within 1 month of coming to a live-in relationship. And when you are terminating, so you have to also register this thing, and you have to also submit the live-in statement of termination from the live-in relationship. So this is the provision they have brought from the live-in relationship. And if you are not doing so, you have to face punishment, like you will be fined up to the 10,000 rupees and maybe you can be jailed for up to 3 months. So this is the punishment they had also decided for the live-in relationship. Moving to the other highlights of this particular bill. So what they have talked about the illegitimate children, so-called illegitimate children, because they have not born after the marriage of two persons. So according to this bill, the people or the children who have been born out of the marriage of the two persons, they are the legitimate child, and also they are the legitimate child who have born without the marriage. So the couple who are living in a live-in relationship or any kind of relationship, they have brought the children into this world. Their children is also considered as a legitimate child. So this is a very good highlight about this particular Uniform Civil Code. And the scheme of succession extend to all those illegitimate children also. And in Uttarakhand, they are not illegitimate children, they are the legitimate children. So this is the thing about this thing. Moving to the next one, which is key things that code does not do or code does not talk about. So what they have not talked about? So they have not talked about the LGBT person, because whatever the rules and whatever the regulation have been brought, they have been brought for the two-person and heterosexual couple. They have not mentioned about the LGBTQIA community. So this is the thing which the Uttarakhand Civil Code has not highlighted, and they had neglected the LGBTQIA community. And according to them, we have recently seen that Supreme Court had not said yes to the marriage equality. So this is maybe also one of the reason. And the second thing is that they had also not talked about the different kind of the marriages or divorce. So the bill had talked about that, you know, if you are breaking your marriage due to irretrievable cause, so that will be not a ground for the divorce. So there should be a solid ground for the divorce. So this is also where the Uttarakhand Uniform Civil Code is missing. And the third thing is that division of matrimonial estate continues to be governed by the court. So whatever the properties you have throughout the marriage, it will be decided by the court. And here there is a provision for prenuptial knots, also prenuptial rights also. So these things are mentioned in this particular code. Moving to the next one, which is what action has the code criminalized. So the first thing, that if you are not registering your live-in relationship, that is a part of criminal procedure onto this bill. And the second thing is that child marriage and marrying within a prohibited degree of relationship is also a part of criminal proceeding. And also dissolution of marriage through modes of other than judicial mode of divorce. It means that you cannot break your marriage without judicial mode of divorce. So here court interference is mandatory. You cannot break your marriage irretrievably. So this is also punishable. And also you cannot compel, abate or induce any person to remarry. So if you are doing so, it is also part of a criminal offense. So on these things, these are the criminal offense and punishable offense in the Uttarakhand Uniform Civil Code. Moving to the other one, which is changes for the Muslims and Hindus. So here they have made significant changes. The first changes in terms of the Hindu law, that we have co-parcenary rights. It means that we have a shared properties which is shared for the fourth generation in the Hindu law. But it has been omitted by this particular thing, and they had said that this co-parcenary rights is not co-parcenary right, and they had abolished the co-parcenary right, and it is considered as a self-acquired right. And self-acquired right, it means that you don't have to wait for the fourth generation that how the property should be divided. So this change they have brought to the Hindu laws. And the second change they have brought to the class 1 heirs. So earlier fathers and the immediate members were included, and this time the father and mother both were included in the class 1 heirs. So this is changes they have brought to the Hindu law. Coming to the Muslims law, so they have prohibited the practice of bigamy and polygamy. And so according to this Uttarakhand Uniform Civil Code, you cannot have two spouses at a time when one is living. And without explicitly taking the name of iddat and nikah halala, they have outlawed such kind of the customary practices which has been practiced by the Muslim community. So these significant changes they have brought. And also whatever the property rights we have a different property rights for the Muslim community and Hindu community that will be equally applies to everyone. It means that they had abolished the compulsory rights, and in Muslims they have a different provision for the compulsory rights, 1/3 division, something like that. But right now they have only self-acquired rights, and if a person is making a will before their death, then the property will be distributed on the basis of the will, and if the person is not making any will, then the property will be disputed the immediate class 1 heirs member, and class 1 heirs member are equally applied to the Muslim community also and the Hindu community also. So these are the significant changes which has been brought by this Uttarakhand Uniform Civil Code. Moving to the question part. So the question is, Article 44 of the Indian Constitution deals with, and your options are fundamental duties, panchayats, uniform civil code, education for children. So we already had discussed about this thing. So I hope you are able to answer this thing in the comment section. I hope you like this session. If you have any queries related to this session, kindly ask in the comment section. Thank you for your time.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.